I'm so sorry.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm...
Here we go. I think so, yeah.
You're just staring at me like
yeah.
a weirdo.
You look cute.
Thanks. Okay. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming back if you've been here before, or hi, welcome if you're new. My name is Mickey. I'm a therapist, and we talk about therapist-y things on this channel. Today, we're talking about Love is Blind again, mostly for selfish reasons, if I'm being totally honest. I keep getting TikToks of people talking about, like, episode 2 and episode 3, and now they're in Mexico. And I'm like, wait, I've only watched one episode. And because I love you guys, I'm not watching anything ahead of time like we're watching it in real time now. So I've been avoiding all of the spoilers, but I need to know. Like, I need answers about what the fuck's going on here. So we're watching episode 2 of season 2 of Love is Blind today. Same caveats as last time. I have not seen any of this. I don't know what the hell is going on. The last time we watched this, Shane and Natalie had a disagreement in the pods. Shane was being very toxic about it, and he was like, I'm gonna leave. And then we also saw Danielle and Nick, I think, get engaged, and it was a very cute moment. And they were going to meet each other for the first time and like run down their very long hallway towards each other. So that's where we're at. If you haven't seen that episode, I would highly encourage you to go watch that. I will put that in the thing. I will also put the playlist of all of the other episodes that we've done for season 1 of Love is Blind up here. But I think that's all the caveats. Let's watch the show.
Movie magic.
Movie magic. Also, Aaron is going to watch with me like he did last time. It doesn't seem like you guys were bothered by his commentary, so cheers to Jessica and all the sacrifices that she made to make the show go viral. So let's do the thing. All right, here we go. Oy, oy, oy.
I feel my cold heart caving in. I see the daylight breaking through.
You're beautiful.
You're beautiful.
We'll make it out of the dark. We can follow the stars. Wanna see it all, feel it all with you. Feel it all.
Make it stop.
I feel like this is every interaction. Oh, thank God you're not ugly.
My fiance.
Believe it.
Yeah.
I love you.
Love you too.
Which is sad.
Say all I can see you
Because
say.
essentially the whole purpose of the show is
I do.
over after the first like 2 episodes.
Well, it just feels like it doesn't mean anything.
Being able to
You know?
see the face behind the voice was just amazing. He has the most beautiful blue eyes, and I have
but
blue
what
eyes,
if
and
he
our
was
kids are going to be
ugly?
gorgeous. And I'm going to get to spend every single waking second with him in Mexico, and I cannot imagine anything better than that.
This is the other thing about the show that really bothers me, and we talked about this in season 1, that I, as a married person who thinks that the sun shines right out of my partner's asshole,
Thanks.
you're welcome. I could fall in love with a complete stranger if you took me on this all expenses paid vacation to this fancy pants resort that's like filled with other people who fucking love each other and are all doing this thing where they're like, oh my God, we love each other so much, and like comparing notes and like doing this romantic thing, and producers are putting rose petals all over everything, and everything's all fancy and romantic, and there's wine everywhere, and just like that's not that hard. And it's very frustrating that, again, the show is creating this environment where people are having their emotions manipulated in a way that, in my opinion, is not super ethical, because a lot of growth and meaningful connection in relationships happens in those like real life moments where we're like walking through difficult things and learning how to like support one another and grow alongside each other, you know? And so like, in my opinion, it's not a very useful test of whether you're compatible if you can get along in a dream scenario. I could get along with fucking almost anybody in a dream scenario, you know? And so like, it's just, again, like manipulative and kind of inappropriate.
Yes, but I don't want to be like making out for like 5+ minutes. Stop laughing at me. Stop. Leave me alone.
How about, no, don't kiss me too long. Look at my watch. How much time we done been kissing for? 4 minutes, 37
Your
seconds.
time.
All right.
You got 30 more seconds, homie.
It changes every day.
Okay, I think this is like kind of cute. I hope that there are more conversations like this taking place in the pods, and the producers are just choosing not to show them because they probably don't make very good TV. But I think this is honestly like a very appropriate use of this situation, even though it is flawed and it's not very ethical, in my opinion, as like a show premise. I think this is like an appropriate topic of conversation to have about like your preferred form of intimacy and what your likes and dislikes are, and like what that looks like for you, and to talk about boundaries with like moving in together. Like all of that's very useful discourse. And like, again, I think an appropriate use of time that doesn't feel, you know, like the sort of inappropriate level of disclosure that we talked about last time, like the church camp thing where you're like whipping each other up and doing like the like aggressive levels of disclosure. This is like regular first date conversations that are maybe just less pressured because you're not looking right into each other's eyeballs. But we'll see how that goes. This show has a tendency of like ruining my fun, so.
Because yesterday I felt like Mallory and I felt like we had a really good day. And then today I feel like me and Ayana had a really good day. So right now it's Ayana.
Ooh, I really like that.
Do you?
Yeah.
I bet you do. Let's see. Never have I ever slept with someone of the same sex.
I have never.
Okay. I have, so I will drink.
Oh my goodness. I didn't expect that, but okay, I like that. This is rated R now. Ah.
First of all, that's not how the game works. If you have done something, then you can't say, never have I ever. That's not how it...
Had sex in a public place. Well, that's a lie. I definitely have.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Have you? Never have I ever got a tattoo. I will drink because I have one.
Donde?
Under my boob.
Ooh, what is it of?
It's a tree.
Yeah.
Dang, what do you have?
Family's really big for me too. So my siblings and I, we all decided to get tattoos, like sibling tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be like 4 little dots
Okay.
that represent all of us.
Oh, I like that. That's cute.
Yeah, that's the only one I have.
Oh,
I really like this.
yeah, this is really nice.
I'm so sorry.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I
Don't.
don't want to shame anybody's tattoos, but
Here we go.
I feel the need to explain my facial expression because that to me is just really funny. It reminds me of that TikTok trend of like, oh, you like inked people? Like, take me off the roster. Because like this person has 4 little dots and is like, oh yeah, I'm like tatted up.
You didn't say that.
Like, no, there's no shame to anybody who has sibling tattoos or like small tattoos. Like, it's perfectly valid as a choice. It's your own body and you can do whatever the fuck you want with your own tattoos. But it is funny to me when people talk about tattoos as if they're like this very alt, very out there thing, because the reality is that tattoos and like body modification generally is becoming much more normalized and common. And it's just like, it's kind of like a funny like boomer energy thing to be like, ooh, you have a tattoo? What is it? Like, oh, it's 4 dots. It's fine. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with this tattoo. If you have a tattoo like that, it's perfectly fine. It's not like embarrassing or wrong. It's just funny to me, that's all.
You, just you.
If it's not you, I don't think there's anyone else here for me.
Whatever I have to do to prove to you that I'm fully focused on you, I will do it. I want to, like, honestly just want to hold you and hug you and make sure you're okay.
An apology would probably help her feel okay.
Hey, do you see on your cart?
What?
Do you see anything on your cart?
What do you mean? Did you give me a rose?
It's corny and cheesy, sure, but I just wanted to let you know, like, you are a magical person.
Thanks.
That's all it took?
You annoyed the fuck out of me yesterday, but yeah, I feel like that's okay.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Give me a break.
Okay, so we are gonna pause here. I want to talk about this in a way that's compassionate and respectful because I want to honor that everyone has different relationship norms. That's okay. The way that... This is my show.
I'm sorry, maybe that go wrong.
The way that we resolve conflict and move through discord in relationships is individual and like highly up for interpretation. You know, like, again, that's okay. However, I very much want to encourage people to honor what feels authentic and right to you. And at the same time, I also want to encourage people to right here in this moment, think about what your standards are for apologies, for, you know, your minimums, your like barrier to entry, or like bottom line, like where's the bar at in your relationships? Move it up, bitch. Move it up a little bit, because especially in heterosexual relationships, it's very culturally accepted for men to get away with the absolute fucking bare minimum. And what we've seen historically, culturally, is that this does not manifest in long-term relationship happiness. I'm not like pulling this out of my ass and just saying this as like a person who, you know, just like thinks this. I'm talking about like the data that we have in terms of relationship satisfaction, in terms of what we know about the sort of like societal pressure to get married and just kind of like pick a partner, like very much the phenomenon that we had in the 50s of like just marry your high school sweetheart, like get a job at the factory, get your house and have your kids and like the picket fence and like just pick a person. Those types of relationships did not manifest in long-term relationship satisfaction, and it, you know, created this whole domino effect of generational trauma and higher divorce rates and just like lots of fucking issues. And so what we're seeing now, especially for millennial and Gen Z people who are choosing to get married later and later in life, who are choosing to have kids later and later in life, and to prioritize the things that matter to them as individual humans, we're seeing relationship satisfaction continue to go up when we prioritize those things. So when we talk about resolving a conflict, if you feel strongly about getting a clear I'm sorry, there being a you know, a concentrated or like demonstrated act of remorse, or, you know, making it up to you, that's okay. I really want to encourage people to honor that as acceptable, as not reaching for the stars here, because especially when we do that, again, it's kind of the conversation that we had last time, that regardless of whether you think you're supposed to feel that way or not, the fact of the matter is that you do. And I think it's very important to also honor that there is a person out there who is willing to meet the minimums, like the bar that you have set in your relationship. And this is very much the energy that we saw in season 1 with Jessica and Mark and fucking Amber and Barnett and like all of this, the stuff where people feel, I think, a sense of shame or fear, maybe like a scarcity thing about being left out and not being one of the people who gets engaged and gets to do the thing and go to Mexico and like be on the show, right? Like, especially now, this is the danger with shows that are in season 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, where you want to be one of the people, right? Like, you want to be a Jessica or a Mark. You want to be like a Diamond or like a fucking Cameron and Lauren, you know? And so I think that is kind of dangerous, and again, really highlights the ethical issues with the way that the producers and Netflix have decided to structure this show, because I'm curious about whether Natalie would have chosen to accept that apology in real life, in a relationship outside of the pods, in an interaction that doesn't have anything to do with this show and wanting to feel special, because that apology is a piss poor fucking excuse for conflict resolution. There was no I'm sorry. We didn't acknowledge the hurt that we caused. We didn't own the impact of our actions. There was nothing. There wasn't even the most basic, we didn't even get a bad apology. We didn't get anything. There was like a shitty, what looks like a shitty plastic rose, and that's it. So I just really want to take this opportunity to encourage people to reflect on what your values and wants and needs in a relationship are, and give yourself permission to ask for more, to ask for what's important to you, and to not accept the bare minimum from shitty ass fucking people because you're fearful that there will be no one else out there for you. I can't speak in absolute certainties about whether or not everyone will find a partner or not, but I can tell you that what I have seen both as a clinician and in my personal life, and honestly, we can see this kind of in the research too, that when we value ourselves and when our relationship with ourselves changes, that our relationships with other people change. And that if we choose to honor the things that are important to us and we set those firm boundaries, we can find people who will meet us where we're at and will honor those requests that we're making. I don't think it's a smart decision or a safe decision to form long-term relationships around this attitude of fear and scarcity that like, I don't feel good about the choices that you're making, and I don't feel good about this conflict resolution, but at least you're a warm body, and so you'll fill the void for now. I really want to discourage people from doing that. Also, really quickly, I want to say clearly too that this is not a shameful thing. If you are doing this right now, or you find yourself doing this, you know people who are doing this, this isn't to say that you don't value yourself or that you suck or that this is embarrassing or bad. It's also a very real societal pressure that women face, and like people who are socialized as women and femme-presenting people face. And so there's a lot of different factors at play. It's not like simply just like, oh, I don't care about myself, you know, like it's not that simple. And it's certainly not to say that you're not trying or that you don't care. I want to honor like the gray area there, because like I said, it is more complicated than that, but still, you deserve more. I guess that's the takeaway.
All I care about is making you happy, and there's gonna be no more confusion. I just want to focus on us, and that's it, really.
Okay.
These are walls were mine, and this is home.
So, question:
Okay.
will you be my girlfriend?
This is where it started.
Yeah, of course.
Next time I fuck some shit up, don't expect an apology from me. You're getting a rose and we're moving on.
Try it.
Bet.
Go ahead.
Bet.
Let me know how that works out for you.
I couldn't be happier.
Me too.
Natalie and me have the strongest connection, but I have feelings for Shaina too, yes. I have a romantic connection with both of them, 100%. I just need to know where they stand and how they feel about me.
We're all coming out better regardless.
100%.
So who's your second date with?
None ya. None ya business. It's awesome.
I love the Beach Boys.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi. How you doing, honey?
I'm good, honey.
You're toots, not honey.
Yeah, I'm your honey.
I know, I fucked up. Are you in your comfy clothes?
I am.
What are you wearing?
Oh my God, I'm wearing like these like men's like oversized.
Men's? Ex-boyfriend men's stuff?
No.
Or what
Oh,
here?
never. No, they're like these like men's like gray joggers with like a black crop top.
Oh, you are so fucking hot. What's going on? Why are you holding back a little bit?
I just don't want another failed engagement. I don't want to look stupid. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
not gonna look stupid. So I don't need always just 100 reassurances. I just need like, just to see if like that you're in it.
Yeah, I told you that I care.
Fight for it then or something, you know what I mean?
You know I care. Like, of course I like you.
Yeah.
But again, like I'm not gonna play second fiddle to.
First of all, what is he doing? Why is he rolling around on the ground? Don't get me wrong, I'm all for like, you know, getting comfortable, I guess. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyways, it's just very distracting. This is fucked up. Again, this is what I'm saying. This is why we just had the very long pep talk that we just had a minute ago about like raising our standards and choosing to not accept the bare minimum from people who are not committed to a changed pattern of behavior and making amends for the impact of their wrongdoing, because this is fucked. This is super fucking inappropriate and also fucking mean. It's mean, it's exploitative, it's manipulative, and it's dishonest. What?
Did somebody die and make this fuck king? Like, I'm so confused.
I don't know. Like, I don't understand why everybody likes Shane so much. Actually, it's not. I think it's just the two people. But I don't... Again, I think this further highlights the issue with the way that this show is structured, because there is this competitive energy that happens, especially when they go back to their respective living quarters, and like she's all, woo, let's pop some champagne, and Shaina says, oh yeah, fucking bet, I have a date with Shane in an hour, and then she goes into the pods and is like, you know, they're doing this thing, and I wish again that there was just, I wish that there was more disclosure or like honesty or the opportunity for these people like Natalie to find out that this is happening behind their back, because this is fucked. Like, this is essentially what's happening here is that the producers are choosing to put Natalie in this situation with Shane, knowing full well that he's fucking lying to her. They're enabling him lying to her and enabling his ability to further hurt her and damage her emotionally for TV, to make good TV. This is not okay. And I don't want to take any of the responsibility off of Shane's shoulders here, because I think he does own responsibility for the shitty and fucked up actions that he's taking. But it does also really bother me that this behavior is being enabled by this whole show premise. Like, this is so problematic.
I get that. Trust me, I'm not stupid. I know that.
Shane,
What?
what was the conversation today?
What do you mean?
Natalie? She said that you asked her to be your girlfriend.
Does he not think they're going back and talking?
Did you say those things to Natalie?
I love these questions.
No.
I love these questions.
Well, no, she made sure that she told me that you said that, by the way.
Oh my God.
I'm asking you a question.
I know, but I'm like, who cares?
I care.
Why?
Because I care.
Why do you care about that? She knows that I'm talking to you.
Well, yeah, but if you have a girlfriend, that's a different story,
Oh my
Shane.
God. Whatever she says, why does it matter? Shaina?
Shane? Dude, just be honest. Is it yes or no? You're making it way more
Yes, I
Okay.
did.
That's all you had to say. Okay. There you go.
I'm sorry, I guess. Is it over then or what?
If you have a girlfriend, yeah. That changes things, honey.
Okay.
Let it hurt.
It says so much about Shane's character, at least that we're aware of, based on the highly edited version of Shane that we're seeing on TV, that he was not the one to end this connection or relationship with Shaina, and instead made a concerted effort to conceal his involvement with another woman for the purpose of I don't know what. Because the other thing that's confusing to me, Barnett did this too in season 1, it is so frustrating to me when people do this in the pods, because there is a very clear and obvious end to the pods. Like, you're only allowed to do this, A, for a certain number of days, but B, until you find a partner. So there is no fucking around beyond the pods. It's not like he's gonna get to have sex with both of these women. So I don't understand what the long game is here, other than inflating one's own ego, which is something that we talked about in the last episode. When somebody perceives relationships only from the perspective of how can this enrich me, how can this benefit me, how will this make me feel good, we are going to run into trouble. Because the default is always to think about myself, me, and not how this is impacting other people. And that's not going to lend itself to a safe and compassionate relationship structure long term. I'm honestly just flabbergasted and confused by this obvious attempt to lie and hurt people. And for what, I guess, is my question. Because again, there's no perceived benefit of this long term. You're just hurting people to hurt people. I don't understand that.
Shaina's she's a fantastic person, and I might never see her again or talk to her again. And yeah, it just sucks.
Let it hurt.
Am I supposed to feel bad?
I'm kind of looking at it objectively now, and probably as a result of this experience. And it's is this a reflection of my own body issues? You know what I mean? It kind of is, because everybody has their demons, and maybe I have more demons in this department than I thought.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you shared that with me. And just love that you're being so vulnerable. It makes me so happy. And I totally see a future with you. And I was just waiting to see this vulnerable side to you.
I think things might really work out with us.
Yeah.
Again, this is a therapy channel, and so I'm going to make the shameless plug for anyone who is projecting their insecurities onto others, to use the links in my description to go and find a therapist, because It's very human. It's not a shameful thing. It's not embarrassing. We all do it. And it's very helpful for us to have an objective person that will hold space for us in this non-judgmental environment, that we can air out our bullshit and we can grow from it. It is frustrating to me, though, that this conversation is being hosted in a way, or like presented in a way that makes it seem like this is a transformative moment. Like this is just like a cool, like, wow, Shake really had a growing moment. Like, no, no, I mean, this is like a nice epiphany, I guess. But again, I really want to encourage people to like notice if that's happening for you in real life, and then use that as information that you can either take to your current therapist or take to a therapist and do some further exploration around how that's impacting your life. Because usually when we have these epiphanies, it's like the tip of the iceberg sort of a situation. And especially if we have the tendency to close ourselves off from relationships with people because of our own insecurities and because of our own perceived judgments, either about ourselves or about other people, that's worth investigating and doing some very deep soul searching about. I'm hopeful that maybe this really was a breakthrough and a moment that Shay continued to learn from, but I am not sure that that's the case.
I did care for Shane, but Natalie, she came out very strong with her feelings for Shane. You know, she was claiming her territory. So my pride got in the way of, if he had that connection with another woman, why would I want to put myself out there?
Woo! Yikes. Okay. Wow. Let's talk about that. If you are finding yourself in a place where you are primarily choosing relationship or romantic partners based on whether they want you or not, and that's your sole requirement, I really want to encourage you again to A, raise your standards, and B, do some reflection about the stuff that you're bringing to the table, the self-worth stuff, the like personal growth stuff that may be helpful for you to do. Because when we talk about long-term relationship satisfaction, again, we talked about this in the first episode, but just as a quick recap, long-term relationship satisfaction is very much a complex picture of the sort of dovetailing interests that we have with someone, our aligned likes and dislikes and non-negotiables, life experiences, aligned futures and long-term goals and wants and objectives, and like all of these different types of things. Like there's a lot of things that have to sort of fit together, and like a concerted effort and like a, you know, a consistent effort towards growing together and becoming the best version of ourselves so that we can be a good complement to our partner and vice versa. This like oversimplification of like, well, I'm just getting affirmation and this other person didn't give me that affirmation, and so therefore I've decided that this is the person, again, to me, just smacks of, I don't want to be left out of this experiment, and so I'm pivoting to this other person who seems to like me well enough, and it'll probably be fine, which is probably ill-advised both for Shaina and for Kyle.
Okay. Faith is definitely important to me. Definitely like how I like was raised and how I go through life is like being raised Christian.
Now, I'm not religious at all.
So like, I'm like trying to be calm.
Are you atheist?
Yeah,
Oh,
I know. However you're feeling, I can understand.
you do?
Yeah.
See, that's a question I need to ask you.
You're asking me if I'm okay with you instilling the religion into our children?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, but like, what about
Ultimately,
you?
the kids will get to decide just like I did.
I want to know why you're an atheist.
I just believe science,
God is science.
but the science doesn't check out.
Says who?
Says a lot of people. I am resistant to brainwashing.
I think you are brainwashed.
I could argue the same.
Not really. You think we're accidentally here.
It's not an accident.
Exactly.
No, look, it's literally like,
So you believe like the Big Bang Theory?
yeah, it's explained. It makes sense.
No, it does. It makes no sense.
So you don't believe in evolution?
I do not believe in evolution at all.
Stop it.
We're
I
done.
do not.
That's so fucked up.
Oh my God. Kyle.
There's some guy who wrote a book.
Some guy.
Yeah, wrote the Bible.
Have you ever read it?
I've read parts of it, and
Exactly, every atheist has said that, and until you read it, you cannot say anything about it.
You're never gonna change my mind.
I'm not trying to change your mind.
I know, but I'm also not gonna like understand that.
I'll pray for you, babe.
I could definitely fall in love with Shaina, but like we're such polar opposites. And I don't think either of us are gonna change each other. And it scares me.
Wow. I probably should have paused it 5 minutes ago. There's a lot to unpack there. Oh boy. Let's start from the top. First and foremost, it is okay for people to have their own wants and needs and non-negotiables about religion and faith in a relationship. I want to be clear. I am not a religious person. I don't subscribe to most of any of the sort of like popular or mainstream beliefs about religion and Christianity and those types of things. However, that does not mean that I am out here on a vendetta to take religion away from people. Quite frankly, I don't really give a fuck what you fucking do with your own religion and your own time and your own beliefs. You are very much allowed to believe and feel and think whatever you want about those types of things, with the caveat that those beliefs are yours. They are for you. It's important from a like evidence-based perspective as a clinician for me, but also like on a human level, that we use those overarching beliefs as a way to structure our own lives and to be supportive and useful and life-giving for us and not to inflict harm upon other people. Unfortunately, this is a very common thing that happens with Christianity, where the tendency is if I as a Christian see that you over there are an atheist, I will level judgment at you, I will shame you, I will insult your beliefs, and then try to force you or convert you to be a Christian. This is a problem. I really want to encourage people, if this is happening for you in your relationship, it is very much okay for you to draw a boundary around that and to say, not interested in having that discussion. This is not up for debate. And if you continue to press the issue, I'm removing myself from this situation. I'm removing myself from this room. I'm removing myself from this relationship. Because again, it's very much okay for us to have these different types of beliefs. And for what it's worth, it is very much possible for people to have different belief systems and to subscribe to completely different religions in a relationship, and for the relationship to continue to be healthy, so long as we are committed to respecting and valuing the beliefs and the peace of our partner. Because ultimately, in my opinion, from an evidence-based perspective, based on what we know about the usefulness of religion from the research, the primary purpose, I don't mean to sound like a fucking heretic, but the primary purpose of religion for a lot of people is providing a sense of peace and safety and security. If we're able to value that our partner has found that peace and safety and security, even if it's in a religion that doesn't vibe with us, very much it's possible for you guys to have different beliefs about that type of stuff and still continue to have a healthy, happy relationship. But when we do this, that Shaina is like being condescending, she's being hurtful, she's saying things that are intentionally inflammatory, that, in my opinion, is a little bit of a red flag about the ability to have healthy conflict resolution, about the ability to maintain healthy boundaries around that topic. There's just like lots of opportunity for boundary violations, for hurt, for unnecessary conflict in the relationship, and I hope like fuck that these two don't end up in a fucking relationship together, but I am picking up the vibe that that's not where this is fucking headed, and I'm not fucking happy about it. God damn it. Which is another thing too. If there, again, this whole fucking video is basically just me as a PSA. Think of me as your like personal, like the little like life coach voice in your head being like, raise your standards, baby, like you can do it, I believe in you. Because if you are in an interaction with a person that you're thinking like, maybe this could be a relationship, I don't know, and there are these big red flags that show up and you're like, woo, that'll do it, like that's your cue. It is okay for you to walk away, and you are allowed. I really want to encourage people to fight this desire to stay in relationships that you know are a bad fit for you out of this feeling of fear and scarcity, because I promise you, again, I can't speak with any level of certainty about whether everyone will end up partnered or not, but I can promise you that you are worth more, that you are valuable, you are worthy of love and belonging, and you absolutely deserve to have people in your life who love and value you and who want to make you feel seen and heard and special. and who don't treat you the way that these people are fucking treating each other.
I never thought that I would meet someone like you, and oh man, I feel like fate has just gravitated us towards each other. And 1,000 times yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Do you think there's like one thing that would be like the complete deal breaker in a marriage? Like, nah, this happened, this divorce is inevitable.
For me, it's cheating. And I mean like any form of cheating, like emotional cheating or like physically cheating.
So do you think you have any traumas that you're still like working through?
So I was sexually assaulted when I was 17. Like my heart is healed. It's just like sometimes my body remembers. I mean, it can be difficult. Like I'm very, very, very selective on who I allow to get very, very close to me.
Yeah.
Like I can make quick acquaintances, like that's fine. But when it comes down to it, like who am I investing my time with? And it's not that many people because I'm just very, very selective.
You are one resilient person. Listen, outside of my family and my close friends, like no one knows this. A year ago, almost lost my life.
What?
I had an issue with someone who I thought was a really close friend of mine. There had been friction between us for quite some time. We had like an issue. I never saw the knife in his hand. I was stabbed.
I'm so sorry you went through that. That's a lot. Honestly, it feels nice to open up to you. And then for you to receive it so well, it feels nice. I don't think I have anything else to think about anymore.
I will say, I think this, again, like, Ayana and Jarrett seem to be the people who are communicating in the way that, in my opinion, most closely mirrors what I would label as healthy and appropriate disclosure outside of the pods, while they're in the pods. I think, it seems like I don't know if the show edited it this way on purpose. This is literally just my guess based on the way that the show presented it to me. But it seems like they did the sort of thing where you gradually become more and more familiar with the person before you disclose the deeper, heavier stuff. And so that's usually like a, safe way to handle those types of disclosures, is to build that level of trust and safety before you share big stuff. And so I think this is like a nice example of what healthy communication can look like.
I think it's you.
Ooh. I've made connections with you and Mallory, and it's just like my brain is flustered. Like I've literally been going back and forth every day.
While I am frustrated that she voiced like, oh my gosh, I think it's you, and he was like, well, maybe not. I do want to give him kudos for being honest about it, because again, I think this show is an imperfect situation that is ripe with opportunities to hurt other people, but he led with, the disclosure there, and so I think that's probably as nice of a way to conduct yourself in this environment as you really can. I'd also like to note, by the way, that we are, 3/4 of the way through this episode, and we have not seen a fat person since the middle of the last episode. It feels very much like an intentional choice to include plus size people, curvy people, fat people, purely for the optics, and then nothing beyond that. We're never gonna see them again. Like, they're not even in the surrounding shots. They're just nowhere.
I put on a front and try to be cool or try to be edgy, all kinds of things that I use to protect myself. I'm very fortunate to have been a part of this experiment, and I think I landed an incredible woman because of it.
I take back what I said. I maybe will half take back what I said. I'm not convinced yet that this will translate into kind of any meaningful long-term change in his character, But I will say, I think people undercut how difficult and scary it can be to admit something like that on a TV show that's going to be seen by millions of people. And so honestly, like, fucking good for Shake for acknowledging that, like, this was an issue and this was a piece of growth that I had, and continuing to talk about it more than once in these talking heads, and like really acknowledge that maybe there was some cultural wounds or like some trauma things that were keeping him in a box that was preventing him from developing intimacy with the right type of person. I'm hopeful that we will continue to see this grow. I am like cautiously optimistic about the future of their relationship, but I hope that maybe this is like a nice character arc. Like, maybe somebody actually experienced some meaningful growth and change as a person on this show. Who knows?
That booty, look at that booty. Oh my God, you're perfect.
Hi.
Oh, you're gonna be my fucking wife.
You're gonna be my husband.
Oh my God.
Okay.
You're holding my mother's engagement ring. You remind me so much of my mother. She was very, very religious, and she makes me the happiest. I want someone who resembles her. So,
Really quick, let's talk about the I want someone who reminds me of my mother thing. This can be a sign of a whole bunch of different things, and I don't want to speak about Kyle because I don't know the guy. I'm not the dude's therapist, and it's very inappropriate for me to try and speculate about his mental illness based on, again, a very highly edited, very carefully curated Netflix TV show. However, if you are noticing that your partner, particularly a male partner, seems to be very invested in this idea of their partner being like their mother, like I said, there's a number of different things that can be at play here. Sometimes it's just as innocent as like poor boundaries or enmeshment. Sometimes it's as sinister as emotional incest. It really varies in terms of severity and in terms of presentation based on the individual scenario, and I really want to encourage people to be cautious in labeling something as more severe than it actually is. It is unhealthy to be chasing a partner primarily out of a desire that they remind you of your mother for reasons that most of us can pretty clearly understand. It's not to say that it's bad to want to feel cared for by our partner, but seeking a partner who makes us feel cared for or looked after or valued and things like that, those are like independent values. Specifically stating like, you remind me of my mother and so therefore I love you, in my opinion, is cause for concern and very much warrants a deeper conversation about what it is that the person is looking for. And potentially, you know, some questions about what their childhood looked like, what their bond looks like with primary caregiver, whether there's trauma there, whether there's enmeshment there, whether there are issues there. And so that can all be interesting or useful stuff to host a conversation around in relationships.
Why are you crying?
I guess it's just like the idea of like being engaged again, and I just don't want to make another mistake. I care about Kyle a lot, but there's issues, huge things that we both do not see eye to eye on. It's terrifying. I made my past mistakes and not having integrity and staying true to myself, and am I making that same mistake? I don't know.
Okay, this is a very important moment for us to pause and talk about, again, the attitude of scarcity that this show creates, because I am curious about whether Shaina would be choosing to make this decision in real life outside of this experiment, knowing that all of these emotions are coming up for her. As a general PSA, if you are finding yourself asking these types of questions, am I making a mistake? Am I violating my core values? Am I violating my integrity? Am I not standing up for myself? Is this not a decision that's aligned with my best self? After an engagement or after choosing to be in a relationship with someone, that's a fucking red flag. That's a very big blinking red sign that it is a good time for you to pause and to fucking back it up and have some very serious conversations about what the fuck is going on here. Because this level of indecision and turmoil inside of a person after an engagement is not a sign that things are headed in a healthy direction, and it makes me very nervous for the emotional well-being of Shaina, for the emotional well-being of Kyle, for the emotional well-being of everybody along the fucking ride. And like, again, this is what I'm saying, where like I don't agree with most or like abide by religious beliefs, and I don't agree with the way that Shaina handled herself in that interaction. But that doesn't mean that she's a bad person at the core. That doesn't mean that she's a terrible human being, and it doesn't mean that she deserves to be hurt in this way. And so it really fucking frustrates me that Netflix and the producers are putting people in these situations that have the potential to be actually like well and truly traumatizing. It sounds like she already has some relationship trauma and some like, you know, maybe self-worth issues or trust issues, or I don't know. And we are potentially just compounding on top of that because of this attitude of scarcity, which is just not fucking okay.
You know, so I'm trying to think of all of my thoughts and emotions about how I feel. And when I think about this whole experience, it's like this is exactly how I feel like we were supposed to meet. Are you okay?
I'm good.
How does this keep happening?
So
Is it Shaina?
yeah. I'm just would love for you to hear me out real quick.
Okay.
Did you do this on purpose? What is going on?
Okay. I just wanted you to know that I do have deep feelings for you.
Fuck.
Oh my God. Of course, that's the end. Okay. So I saw someone mention in the comments of my last video that there were rumors that the producers had been involved in these like Shaina Natalie mix-up. And it seems like that is increasingly likely. However, I want to clear some things up. First and foremost, Shane is still responsible for the way that Shane behaves himself, regardless of whether the producers put the wrong person in the room at the wrong time. It's clear that Shane did not apologize, chose not to own the impact of his actions, and willfully gaslighted Natalie and invalidated her emotions and made her feel or you know, had made a concerted effort to make her feel wrong for how she reacted to that situation, which is Shane's responsibility alone. However, this is some shisty fucking bullshit. This is not fucking okay. And again, I think really highlights the fucking issue with these goddamn TV shows, because we're using people's romantic lives, their real feelings, their trauma history, their ability to love and form connections with other people as cannon fodder for fucking TV. I really want to encourage people to view this media, I guess, like for what it is. It's carefully curated media that's presented in a way that's, you know, intended to be inflammatory, but to please be cautious about absorbing any long-term or overarching meaning about your own romantic lives or your own values and beliefs and relationship mores, because this is fucking problematic. This is just contrary to a lot of the things that we know about building healthy relationships. It runs contrary to what we know about how to form safe connection with other people, and I think really is more of like a walking billboard for how not to structure your get to know you period in a relationship. I am developing like an increasing sense of resentment and frustration with the producers and Netflix and like the proverbial powers that be that organize this fucking show, because it just feels exploitative and inappropriate. And it also lacks inclusivity and representation to boot. And so like Roman fucking episode 2, this is going to be a time. It's gonna be a time to get through all of these episodes. So if you want to support me and the channel and say thank you for you know, the content, and like give back, especially like to the editor who is having to filter through 2 hours of this godforsaken fucking footage, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Please leave me some comments letting me know what your guys' thoughts and feelings and takeaways are. I would love to know how you guys are feeling about this. Don't leave spoilers if you can help it, please, or at least like label them as spoilers if you can. But yeah, I am just not very optimistic about where this is going, but I guess we will see. So share the video to help the channel grow and to help each other grow, and I will see you guys next Saturday for some more fuckery, probably. Okay, bye. Perfect.